These are the same people that say ratings don't matter when they're losing, and then say suck at NXT when they're winning. So, right, just say, right, if ratings don't matter, you got to be consistent on that. So it's like when AEW is getting over 1 million, fans out there saying, what now? AEW got 1 million, right? And then when it went under, you had nothing to say. And that's the thing, man. It's like if you're going to go with that ratings don't matter, you got to go with it. It can't be a double standard, right? We've got to be fair here. We've got to call these companies out. We've got to be equal opportunity, guys that hold everyone to account. That's what we got to hold these companies to account. We got to demand more. And I think that's what ultimately is the problem here, is that what's left of the fan base is not demanding more. They're happy with a show of nothing but wrestling matches and no promos and no segment. Bell to bell wrestling, they're happy. Well, that's the problem, is they listen too much to the fans, and that's why we've always said that you need to stop listening to the fans so much. And it's even led to a lot of downtune over with SmackDown, the big flagship AEW. So it's everywhere. Yeah, we got a lot of companies covered here. So, as you can see, starts in March 13th, 1.4, and then they go to 1.439, 1.308, 1.508, which is barely anything, 1.412, 15580, 1.267, 1153 yeesh, and then 1.79. So, as you're seeing, not a lot of growth here. You're not seeing anything really substantial. The most substantial stuff you saw was back when Drew McIntyre was champion. As soon as Cody beat him for the title, it's been a black cloud over SmackDown, and it's not getting any better with all the goofball shit that they do. There's always times which we don't really have too much of a problem with, but you have to understand that they're going to turn away your wrestling is ball fans. All these fans that confuse basketball with pro wrestling, you're going to tune them out because they want their serious fake bad psychology wrestling for 25 minutes. When you don't give them that, they're going to be like, what the hell is this? What is this goofball show? I don't want to see the Miz and Danhausen comedy sketches. I don't want to see the gingerbread man. They don't want to see shit. Now, granted, I will say it was a valiant attempt at SmackDown to trade from casual viewers. Somebody else because they had a bigger crown, Fox, a pair of decent women, and your ratings lower than ever. You had the fan base. Right. Before they tuned out. Well, then you look at the last two ratings, like you keep money up, it's possible. That Twrp thing, that's bumping other ratings about 4%. So back when SmackDown was getting like 900,000, that's before Dash, right? Now Dash is in effect, and they're getting 1.1 million, like less than 1.3 million. That just goes to show just how weak SmackDown is now. And look at who they're pushing. Look at who they're pushing for the sign. Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, every fucking week on their TV. Well, that's the thing with Cody, is that Cody, even back without depending on that, he was at the maybe actually, we'll start out with Cody. The thing about Cody is that he has been so unbelievably detrimental to SmackDown because he refuses to play anybody. He refuses to make art. He refuses to treat people look good. And even then, as this quote-unquote baby, like eating during matches, using weapons, just don't let it have to go. So you need to rub in the fans' faces. Oh, I don't make a way. I'm always bad. Anything to make you look like anything to make you look like you're this fake John Cena ripoff. You never will be John Cena, Cody Rhodes. And that's the whole thing, too, is the fan base that even used to be behind Cody are not there anymore. They're tuning out. They don't care. They don't want to be there for Cody because he adds nothing to the program as champion. He's literally just douchebag in a suit. If that's the case, I'd rather have Miz in a spot. At least you would have somebody who's a better actor, a better promo, and just altogether just more entertaining, right? Miz is so much better than Cody Rhodes. Get Cody Rhodes out of here, throw him over to TNA, have Miz as the Cody Rhodes replacement. He would do so much better. He would, but I would just say, look at what's on your screen right now. Look at these two men. Compare them against the Ultimate Warrior, Macho Man, Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan back in the 80s. Compare it to Austin Rock of the Undertaker, Kane of the 90s. Compare them to John Cena. Compare them to even Sheamus or Drew McIntyre. Look at these two guys and look at the ratings. Well, it's not a figment of your imagination. Well, that's the whole thing too. Is it's not necessarily a physical thing. Like even guys like Danhausen have proven you don't have to be a big guy to get the crowd's attention and to sell T-shirts. But what it is with Danhausen is he's a larger than life cartoon character. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. It does not matter strictly about physical if that's what we're talking about. No, Danhausen is proof that even though he's not our cup of tea, the guy can sell merch because he's got this larger than life gimmick. Look at these two guys. Do they look larger than life? They just look like regular people. Well, and that's the thing too. Is like I've seen people that look like regular people that when they get on live they grab your attention. Like for example, Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart back in the day looked like fairly regular people, but they captured your attention with their aura and with their power. So let's go ahead and talk about this next guy right here who's just awful, Gunther. Oh wow, Jesus, this is a real piece of garbage right here, folks. And the reason why Gunther is so bad is because he hasn't gotten any better on the mic, and he's a lot like a big version of Cody Rhodes. They have sacrificed so many people to Gunther that it's done nothing for his career to the point that he's now the sacrificial lamb to Cody Rhodes because they ran out of people. Yep. So much for you, Gunther. You had a great push, and now you're Cody's sacrificial lamb for the month. And that's the thing, like it's all like just to maintain what star power there's left on the roster, they're having to feed stars to Cody Rhodes. They're having to feed stars to Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns to click up. That's not how it works. Like that's the thing. Like that's not how it works. How it works is you've got to get people on there that are captivating, that are entertaining. Like LA Knight, you've got marketable people on your roster right now that they've got on the roster right now that they're just doing nothing with. It's all in Triple H's choices, and this one of his choices is Gunther. Gunther's one of his boys. Ever since Walter in NXT UK, he's been shoved down our throats, and then he came over to NXT, shoved down your throat, came over to the main roster on Raw, shoved down your throat. On SmackDown now, he's probably going to be shoved down your throat. I don't know, I'm not watching, but I can assume that's what the usual game plan is with Gunther, up until the point that he has to meet Cody Rhodes. And let's face it, if Triple H has to make a choice, he's going to go with Cody. For whatever reason, he loves Cody. No, I don't get it, but he really loves Cody. What I think, just in my opinion, what I think it is with Cody is I think they're looking at him like he's our John Cena. He's our good company guy, squeaky clean, white meat baby face. And so yeah, they're going to feed Gunther to him. They're going to feed everybody to Cody. And it's not going to work. As the proof is in the pudding. Like you've seen it not work. They fed him Roman Reigns, it didn't work. They fed him. They're about to feed him Gunther. It's not going to work. You've seen all the people they fed to Cody. It just doesn't. Drew McIntyre. Look what happened to him. Like feeding people to Cody Rhodes does not create new stars. It just does not work that way. I never will say that Gunther. They're pretty much two peas in a pod. But this is another talent that I can tell a lot of female talent are going to be fed to. And why? That's the thing about Jordan Grace's. Like, if she got better on the mic, if she got herself a character, if she wasn't go ahead. All I see this Ozempic Kenny Omega Joker, and I can't cheer for this, man. I'm sorry. I can't either. That's the thing. It's like all these people that we're seeing right now, like it fits the title perfectly. It's like they're not marketable. They don't look like megastars. They just look like either roided up nobodies like Jordan Grace or just stretched out turkey men like Gunther. Like they just look like regular people for the most part. Well, she's short too. That's the thing. It's not like she's like a Jade Cargill where she's like a tall woman and big. Jordan Grace is so tiny. And it doesn't matter. You can stack up the muscles. It's like, yeah, you're just your husband. But it's like stack her up against Jade Cargill, stack her up against Raquel Rodriguez, stack her up against like Charlotte Flair. They tower over Jordan Grace. This is why we were even saying back in the day, like it's not going to work. It's not going to look good on TV when she's so much shorter than everybody else. You know, like especially when they bring up Michael Lockwood. When they bring up Michael Lockwood, you're going to see the drastic height difference. I'm just saying, there's so many big powerhouse chicks out there right now that if they show them on TV, they're going to make her look bad. And see, just out of curiosity, like who do you think Triple H and just everybody there, who do you think that they're catering to with all? Like who are they marketing this product to? Their marketing get to the fetishists, to the weirdest out there, the weird fans that like muscle mommies that want to get their balls stepped on for $200. Those are the fans that they're marketing to because they're all that's left. You got to understand that as wrestling shrinks with the fan base, that fan base gets more and more crazier, more and more perverted, more and more deviant, to the point that we just have these just godless heathen fucking slop bag for fans that we do nowadays, man. It's just getting worse and worse, and this is one of the people that they jerk off to because they have some sort of weird muscle mommy bodybuilder fetish. I don't get it. I never will get it. If you like it, more power to you, man. A hard woman is a good fight, I guess. Not in my opinion. No, not mine either. And it's and they have because they have marketable women on the roster, and they've got some market like Lola Vice is one of them. These are women that you can market to the masses, and you can get the masses to tune in. Absolutely, and you know what? I would love to do a positive special one of these days where we show you the future of WWE. Absolutely. Just to show you that we're not all negative. I gotta show you the reasons why these brands are losing viewers. Another big reason, in my opinion, is MFT. MFT is so unbelievably boring, and the reason why it's so boring is it's bad enough Bloodline was already starting to lose a lot of its aura, starting to lose a lot of its power. It's starting to become retread, you know? We're already tired of Bloodline, and then you give us wannabe Bloodline with even less charisma. Like, you don't even get, like, rambling Jey Uso drunk and famos. You don't get Jimmy being fucking straight hood gangsta. You don't get Roman being the smooth talking badass. You don't get any of that. You just get this dumpy fuck in a suit named Solo Sikoa with 4 jobbers with painted faces done by now. Maybe another one on the windows. But it's a symbol of just boring jobbers with painted faces. Actually, like a black metal band, like a Samoan black metal band. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'd be like, all right, let me see them like fucking fake play instruments and act like they're in a black metal band. Cool, whatever. But no, they're just literally just more jobbers. Like, they're not even all like Samoan, isn't? They're Tongan, right? They're Tongan, and then one of them is Jeff Cobb, who's just a Mexican dude. So they're like, good enough. Not good enough. Well, and like as I'm looking at all this, right? You know, there's no identity to like who they're marketing towards. It's like a little bit what they want, but it's like a little bit of what they think the young kids. It's like a weird mishmash of things cobbled together that they think is going to appeal to the masses, when in reality it's mostly just appealing to the niche audience that it just is still interested in wrestling now. And like when you look back at like the Hulkamania era, that was catering to like young boys that were into like Marvel and superheroes back in the 80s, which were all the rage back then. The 90s, look at the Attitude Era, man, like the teenage frat boy audience, like chicks showing their tits on TV, badass drinks beer and beats up his boss. It's like you know who the show is marketing towards. Who the fuck is SmackDown and Raw marketing towards now? They're marketing towards edgy, geeky nerd kids that have nothing better to do but watch shitty ass SmackDown stuff. They love though having wrestlers that play ball, like Carmelo Hayes. Because hey, who doesn't tune in for an amazing Carmelo Hayes match? He does the same moves every match. Always says the same shit. Man, no, don't miss. Oh, but he plays ball. Not literally though, just metaphorically, like these pro wrestling fans say. So if you tune into SmackDown, you know ball because you must be a Carmelo Hayes fan. I don't get the appeal with this guy. And here's the thing, I'm gonna be mean because this guy is boring and he has done nothing for the show, and they shove him down your throat like the Black Johnny Gargano. Then they pretty much figured, hey, we don't need Johnny Gargano, we got him. That's a good point. And that's why you're seeing a lot less Johnny Gargano, because the Johnny Gargano role is being filled with Carmelo Hayes, who's younger, less injury prone, less banged up from the indies like Johnny is. Like, why would you? Yeah, it makes what you just said makes all the sense in the world of why they're going with this guy. But it's like, does this guy look marketable? Does this like scream superstar? Like, compare him to Trick Williams. He looks like he'd be holding the baby oil at a Diddy party. Let's be real. Just saying. He looks like the X Division, like the next X Division champion. He looks like he should be in TNA, not WWE. I would wait. Like I could totally see a picture of him and Leon Slater in a graphic for some stupid X Division match. Just saying. Absolutely. No, same here, man. Because these are not superstars. There's a reason why people have tuned out. It's because when you just look at them, you're like, I'm not interested. They're not like, because it's like TV is visual and audio. It's like you gotta hook me visually and with audio as well. So it's why you need both. You need the great look and the great mic skills. Like they go together, man. Like you gotta look like a star. You gotta look your best. Or at least try to look your best. You know, and there's a lot of women and men in the business that have upped their game and they look like more stars than they used to. And good on them. And like that's what we're saying. Is like just fucking try. Sami Zayn is not trying. Nor do I think he has the ability to. You know, and it's a shame, man. Yeah, might as well talk about Sami since he's here. So yeah, Sami Zayn is awful at what he does. He's not a bad actor altogether, but in the ring, nobody wants to see him wrestle. Nobody wants to see him compete. He's really retread himself. And then he's trying to go for these promos with Johnny Gargano saying, remember when all we had to do was fight forever, just bang up our bodies and the fans loved us? That's not a good promo. That's not a good way to reminisce, and it's going to drive the viewers out. Just straight up. I mean, what they're going for with this fight forever work rate bullshit, you're going to tune out even more people. You don't understand that. You're like, stop doing what you're doing and try to do something casual friendly. And what I mean is with Sami, like, they tried to do stuff with Sami before. He's a good mid-card hand. No more than that. You do not shove him in the main event. You do not have him go over more charismatic people. If you need somebody to put on a good, safe match, that's Sami. That's what he's there for. If you need somebody to put somebody over, there's Sami. And that's how they should be looking at, honestly, any of these guys over 40 who have already held that top spot, who have already been at the top of the mountain, start putting over the younger talents. That's why I'll give Sami credit. At the very least, he put over Trick Williams. So I'll give him credit for that. But that's something that I would like to see Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura, anybody who's been there for a while, you've already been at the top of the mountain, and you won't retire, go ahead and start putting over young talent. I think that's the way to be. Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna start putting him over. And I'm like, not to wreck too much on those looks, but it's like it's that old saying, man. It's like the first impression is everything. If somebody who has not watched wrestling before tunes into SmackDown for the very first time and they see Sami Zayn as a wrestler on their TV, what do you think they're thinking in their head? They're like, dude, they let bums wrestle in the ring now? What the hell? Right. They're not going to take it seriously. And that's the problem. Is that, like, looking the part, passing the airport test, it wasn't just because Vince McMahon was an asshole. It was because Vince McMahon knew it worked. It literally was his livelihood. So he had to care about this stuff. And he learned over time that, yeah, look matters. The look does matter. You know, CM Punk may not. I mean, but even look at CM Punk. Compare CM Punk when he was back in AEW to him now. CM Punk is massively bulked up. CM Punk was a twig in AEW. Now he's put on some muscle. So even CM Punk is like living proof of what we're talking about. Is that marketability matters. Well, he knew since he's getting the big contract and it's his last chance, he has to start doing the TRT. You know, he has to get on that shit, so I get it. But yeah, looks really do matter, especially when it comes to somebody like Gingerbread Man. Now, I don't inherently have a problem with the Gingerbread Man idea. The execution left a lot to be desired, which is what happens with most Triple H ideas. So like, instead of going for like a good slapstick, they went for just this cheap, shitty SNL slapstick, and it drove a lot of viewers out, man. Like, that's why they had to kill off the Ginger Man so quickly, is because it was driving a lot of viewers away. It was too goofy, especially for a show like SmackDown. Like, you have to understand this about SmackDown. Most people tuning into SmackDown, they want to see their ball. They want to see their really long, boring fucking geek matches. That's what they tune in to see. So when they have their long, boring geek matches cut down to have some goofy segment with a guy in a fucking suit, what are they immediately going to think? They're going to think, I don't want to see this. I want to see some NXT black and gold beggars. I don't want to see this Vince McMahon, Bruce Pritchard shit. Turn this shit off. Yeah, it's just the whole show to me. When that whole Gingerbread Man thing, like, it worked for like the first couple of weeks, they should have just left it after that. Like, after WrestleMania, no more Gingerbread Man, because it served its purpose. Like, what's the purpose of Gingerbread Man other than a goofy thing to have on the show to make the kids laugh? It's pretty much a situation where Sammy just got to play the goof in a suit. You know, he likes to dance. I get it. The guy's a good dancer. I'll give him credit for that. But Sammy would probably be a good manager. Like, if I had like repackage a guy, like, okay, you're not going to be a producer because you had nothing. You're definitely not going to be creative because you've got no. You're thinking about it like from the standpoint of a mark. You know what? Go out there and be just a goofball manager that gets the shit kicked out of him, and like kind of like if Paul Heyman were like taking bumps, you know. He's too serious of a wrestler to do that. He's one of the best in the world. But dude, he's got love handles and he looks like he collects change on the street. Let's be real. He literally looks like a homeless person. Just saying. I mean, no joke. Like, it's not even just a shit on his appearance. I'm just saying he literally looks like a homeless person. If you were laying on the sidewalk without a shirt on, you people walking by would think he's homeless. They would know that Sami Zayn, he makes hundreds of thousands of dollars a year with WWE. Oh yeah, they would throw coins at him. That's just how it is. So yeah, SmackDown is just it's gone down a really bad path. But so is NXT. So NXT, March 17th, had 588,000, and then they just balanced back and forth. They went from like 588 up to 605 on April 7th, went back down to 584, went to 591, went to 541, and then they had a big jump up to 641,000. You're probably wondering what that was all about. A lot of it had to do with the fact that they had a lot of turmoil going on in the women's division. Michael Lockwood was coming out of the crowd to fucking beat up some dudes, so that got people to be like, what the fuck is this shit? You had a promo from Evil, so people were probably looking forward to this guy, seeing what he could do. And then you had this guy, Mason Rook, debut, and a lot of people, I think, went and tuned back into that episode just to laugh at it. That's what I think a lot of that viewership is that's they're laugh votes. They're laugh views. A lot of people going back, especially the CW app. You can go back and watch it one day after it goes live. I think a lot of that accounted for that viewership. I think people were just tuning in to see, the spectacle of it all, the car crash of it all. So a big thing that's causing a lot of people to tune out with NXT is who they have on that show. It's like they have so many dredges, and it's only gotten worse since they put a lot of those people on SmackDown and on Raw and other shows. After WrestleMania, they got a lot of call-ups. They drained what little talent they had there, and now we're left with freaking Tony D'Angelo as the champion. God, this is a guy that, for all his time in NXT, must have been like 5 years now. It feels like 5 years. They finally put the title on him because he's the only one that couldn't get called up. So like it's kind of like a participation award, like a sympathy belt. Like, yeah, we'll give you the belt because you'll put your time in, I guess. They're so do. They're so desperate for champion for top male stars in that company that they're willing to bring in just about anybody. Like they really are. And like with Tony D'Angelo, look at the gimmick they've given this guy. Like I thought he was a mute, but no, he goes to cut a promo. It's still Tony D'Angelo accent. I'm like, what is going on here? Well, that's a big issue, is that Tony D'Angelo, he's not gotten any better. He's not doing a different gimmick. It's basically like he's just gone in a more emo goth route. He's still a gangster, but now he's an emo gangster. Grew his hair out long, doesn't have a gang with him anymore because they went over in different directions. One of them's in TNA. So it's like it's just Tony D'Angelo by himself. My whole thing is he's never been good enough to be by himself. No, he should have been part of a tag team or stable. Well, and like at the very least, like let him keep his gimmick. Like he had a gimmick, the Italian, Chicago Tony Soprano type gimmick. Well, let him keep it. He's got the name. He had the accent down pretty good. Let him stay with it, because right now he's looking like a cross between Killer Cross and Sami Zayn. Look at him. He's looking like Cross if he just got really fucking fat. Like if he just like stopped lifting and just started eating like a motherfucker and got depressed. So no, Cross still takes care of himself. But unfortunately, Tony really doesn't. He's just always had this build, and yeah, there's not much you can do with him. They're just left with him. That's how it is. It's hard to say. Mason Cookie Jar. This dude. I mean, that's the thing too. Is he's a great in-ring physical talent. I will give him that. But he's so green, unbelievably green. And what do? You rush him right into the NXT main event because you have nobody to use. That to me, it screams desperation. But the big thing that screams to me is the booking committee is they obviously don't understand how to get over international talent, especially coming from Shawn Michaels. But you should know with international talent, it doesn't matter where they're from. You got to get them acclimated to the fans. They're fucking unknowns. Your casual fan doesn't know who the fuck Mason Rook is. They don't know who Evil is. You have to acclimate them with promos, with vignettes, getting them to know who these people are, and having them come in immediately and dominate your top guy. This fat softball playing looking freak comes in and just dominates your top guy. This puddle of pudding dominates your top guy. It does not look good. And he's like, I let you know. No, you know. That's not a way to get fans. No. It's going to tune them out. And like you saw, they laughed for that one episode, and then they're like, we're not going to watch this fucking goofball show. Maybe Dave and Brian are right. Maybe they're right. Maybe they're right about it. Because like, again, if you're tuning in for the first time to NXT and you see this guy, like if you want to put, like if they put him in a tag team, that's one thing. Why wouldn't you do that with him and Evil, man? I personally think you got two big fucking rotund dudes that are international quote-unquote stars. They're not even really that big of stars over in their areas. They're indie dudes. Bring them in with an indie mouthpiece and have that person talk for them, because neither him nor Evil are good workers. They're both good in ring, but when I consider a good worker, you have to have a character, you have to have a gimmick, you have to be able to talk on the mic, you have to be able to resonate with the fan base. At the very least, if you're an international talent, you have to have physical charisma. I don't get that from Mason Rook. I don't get that from Evil. With Evil, I just see some fat Japanese blonde-haired guy with shaved eyebrows. How's this gonna make me like want to tune in? What? Oh, so I get to see blonde-haired Shinsuke? Yay! At least some of that over there, yo. Well, because at least with Shinsuke, the guy had like some physical charisma. And Naraku has like no physical charisma. He's just some boring wrestler guy from Japan with long blonde hair. Big freaking whoop. That's the thing. That's like, who is this for? Who are they marketing to? It's for the indie net nerds. That's what it's for now. It's for all that's left. And if you book like Tony for all that's left, you will get less and less ratings every single time. And that's the thing too, is like when we're talking about marketability, a lot of it is physical, right? But you have to have charisma. And with a guy like Jackson Drake, I'm sorry, he has shown me in his time at Evolve, and what I've seen in NXT, he doesn't have a whole lot of charisma. He is, and it's like maybe he's like got like a certain look for like the female audience, but there's nothing else there. Like I've seen this guy cut promos, I've seen this guy wrestle. There's literally nothing else other than this guy looks like a gay male model. Like that's the problem. It's like there's nothing there to this guy. There's like no engine underneath the hood. There's nothing. It's NXT's cheap attempt at making their own clavicular, but yes, you don't have the aura of clavicular, which is not much, but you don't have that. You are so twink looking, and then you say you can beat the fans' ass. I'm sorry, dude. When you're next to Michael Lockwood, okay, this individual towers over you. I'm sorry, I can't take you seriously, especially when you're picking that up at a bar and it's taking you home. You think that makes me look at the gay allegations any differently? No, I'm looking at you like a tan beard. Well, like the way you like an old like gimmick, he's like all like, oh wow, like he was all happy, not like, oh, I gotta go home with this chick, pussy's pussy, I guess, It's like with this, like again, I ask, who is Michael Lockwood for? Well, all I could get out of that promo that we covered on the news is that Jackson Drake must really like getting pegged by big buff things with fucking muscles and double chins. I don't know, man. But when I look at Michael Lockwood, I don't see anything marketable. It's honestly if you took an uglier Jordan Grace and put her out there with less charisma. I know that's hard to imagine, but I hate to be cruel, but that's how it is. Well, because like if we're talking about like female wrestlers in the name like China, like the big roided up muscle chicks, but like the thing with China is that like China was unique. China was also a part of a faction too, which made the whole thing was like Degeneration X. They're outrageous, and so China fit into that. But at least China, China in some ways, like especially after the whole like chin reduction thing, she had some sexual appeal, some marketability. Oh yeah, Michael Lockwood has none of that. She looked like a woman by the time she was done with pro wrestling. That's one thing I can give her credit. She really feminized a lot. And that's not to say that big buff chicks, can't be feminine. I would say differently. We grew up with people like, not the biggest, but people that were fitness freaks like Trish Stratus. She had muscles, pretty. I would say with Michael Lockwood, what they're going for is they're going for like this big badass powerhouse. We've always recommended just put a mask on her. Right? That's going to be a good way to avoid a lot of the incoming hatred. You're already seeing in the viewership. What that NXT viewership shows you, this is what happens when you put on a car wreck. People tune in for it. What happens the week after? They tune out because they already know what fucking stupid shit to expect and they already got their fill. Well, and there's going to be a lot of people making the excuse of, but what about the competition from the NBA playoffs? And Nancy, what would you say to that? Dude, basketball fans do not watch wrestling, and wrestling fans do not watch basketball. They need to come to that correlation. I don't care if they use these stupid basketball terms. Oh, you know ball. No, wrestling fans do not watch basketball. They are not the same competition. And the proof of that, really, back in the day was when we had the AEW Dynamite bleed off, and from the playoffs, I believe, too. Same time around there. And all these NBA fans were just roasting Chris Jericho, roasting ass-eating wrestling, as they called it. That's what regular basketball sports fans, by the way, think of AEW. And it's the same for WWE, as you're seeing with SportsCenter. You go into SportsCenter, and every time they do a wrestling piece on X or whatever, you go in the comments, YouTube, go in the comments, and it's just all these people saying, what the fuck is this goofy shit doing in my serious sports? They don't get it. It doesn't make sense to them. It doesn't appeal to them. It's not marketed towards them. And that's the thing, is that if this product were actually marketing towards the masses, you would start seeing the ratings grow despite NBA playoffs. You would see it grow despite fucking the NFL playoffs. Because if it's genuinely appealing to a larger and larger audience, people are going to tune in because it's fucking appealing to them. It's not hard to understand. No, it's right there, man. I mean, just especially with Dynamite, you have proof of what works and what doesn't, and they just won't go back to it. It's very frustrating. One more thing about NXT, this group has never done anything to get my attention. They are a complete waste of fucking space. This is what happens when you take the Shield and Retribution and mix them together, but make it even more boring. They're just guys with masks. No characters. All of them are boring promos. I've never seen a good promo out of any of them. They have this random fucking geeky white guy in with 3 black dudes, which makes no sense. One of the black dudes doesn't even know how to put on his t-shirt. I look at them like a retarded Shield. I'm sorry. I can't take them seriously. And that's the thing. You can't take them seriously. That's another thing. It's like, why should you take them seriously? What have they done that is so devastating, so just malicious and evil that are going to cause people to go, whoa, I got to tune in to see them. They did a gang beatdown on the stupid deaf guy, Miles Bourne, who's another one they don't have a picture of, but he definitely deserves to be on here as well. You don't put a deaf guy on the mic. You get him a fucking manager, you stupid assholes. I don't care if you're going for some sort of fucking tax write-off at the end of the year. Get him a fucking manager, you stupid assholes. Because again, who are you going to market Miles Bourne to? The deaf community? And nothing against the deaf community, but it's like who the fuck are we marketing towards? That's the problem. It's not a lack of, we don't have wrestling talent out there. It's a lack of, you don't have marketable talent out there, and you're not scouting for marketable talent. You're scouting for in-ring ability. Well, let that get you. NXT, I got an idea for you. Go ahead and bring in a wrestler in a wheelchair and give him a title. Let's be full ableist, mind you. Hey, a quadriplegic, they can hold the world title, can't they? Why not? You have a problem with quadriplegics, you don't think they can hold the big one? What about Zach Gowen? He only had one leg. Fuck it, bring back Zach Gowen at this point. You know what? I would probably just, out of shits and giggles, I would tune in to see a fucking, paraplegic versus, Tony D'Angelo and seeing the paraplegic go over for the title. I'd have to watch that. That would just be so fucking goof-tarded. I'd have to fucking watch it. Because, this is how fucking silly it's getting with NXT, and you hit the nail on the head and see just how, they're going, all DEI shit. And that's ultimately what the problem is. It's DEI. They're not finding the best and the brightest. When you were bringing in NIL and recruiting from there, who again? Braun Breaker, Tiffany Stratton, Trick Williams, Obafemi. All those 4 people are stars on the main roster. One of them has been a fucking world champion, or for the women. No, that's why the thing I would love to do a video where we show off the future stars of WWE, because we're not all salty, man. We're just showing you the shit right now that's really bringing WWE and all these other companies down. So that really covers it for NXT. So yeah, with TNA Impact here, as you can see, it started out pretty decently at 176, which is whatever, but then it started bumping up. By March, it got up to 250, and then it started going up and down with a high of 257, but then you saw the drop down from 257. You saw 212, 175, 209, and then 184, or was that 164? And the real reason why, in my opinion, why it started dropping down so much is because they lost a lot of the momentum that they had building up before the pay-per-view. They had a lot of surprises. What they were doing is they were doing what Triple H does when he doesn't have any good storylines, but he's got people to bring back. What they would do is they would bring back Nostalgiac every week or every other week, and they would use as part of this Rosemary alternate reality storyline, which was dumb. It didn't go anywhere. It sucked, and that was another ball drop, and that's another reason why people tuned out. But then after they got rid of all the storyline stuff, they pretty much left it in the dust. They started doing Broken Matt Hardy, but not doing it the right way, fucking that up. They started going to so much match focus. That was the one big difference. Like when I told my brother, hey, you know what? I know TNA's been sucking for a while, but you got to go ahead and check out this TNA. What was it? The March 28th one? I think it was the March 28th one, right? Yep. I told him, hey, check out the March 28th one. It's picked up a lot. And what did they have? Great pacing on the matches. Interspliced with tons of segments. A storyline all throughout the night. Storyline in the background with what was going on with Rosemary the Bunny, all these other characters being brought back. They were bringing back a lot of stars. EC3 was being hinted at that too. So there's a lot to be hopeful for with TNA, and I'm sure that was bringing up a lot of viewers because people are like, who's going to show up next week? What star are they going to bring back from TNA? And especially since they were bringing in ODB, they were bringing in Terrence Terrell, a lot of nostalgia acts that we liked in TNA. They were bringing back, so we're like, okay, let's see where this goes. Unfortunately, it went nowhere. It was all a bunch of cheap appearances, shitty acting segments, had a bad story, and it pretty much devolved to the last TNA that we reviewed, which was nothing but matches. It was center focused around Leon Slater versus the System, which is so bad. But you know what? Let's talk about these stars in TNA. Starting off with Leon Slater. Leon he doesn't do anything for the company. He's too skinny. He's not a good promo. He has a terrible gimmick. He does copy paste fucking create wrestler moves. Nothing I haven't seen before. Nothing innovative. They put so much stock behind this very young green kid. I know they're trying to make their own Javon Evans, but this dude ain't it. So what do you think about him? Well, what I think about him is, I think they're trying to build him into something, but I also think that his contract, because the way TNA does their contracts now, it's like a year-long contract, that's it. And so I think his contract is coming up, and so people who didn't watch or who don't know, he lost his title back on Thursday when they did their live episode. He had a 2 out of 3 falls match with Cedric Alexander. Cedric won the title. So what that tells me is that more than likely this boring fuck Leon Slater is going to be heading over to NXT, which makes sense because they're desperate for talents that have in-ring experience. So you'll probably see Leon Slater in NXT within the next 5 to 6 months. Either that or graduating him to the main event, which even worse. But both are really bad scenarios. But you mentioned Cedric Alexander. This guy has not gotten any better since his WWE days. He's still a boring jobber. Still cuts very boring promos. Very boring in the ring. Doesn't do anything cool. Just a slow old veteran. There's so many of these fuckers in TNA now. That's the thing. If you're gonna put him in the main event, make sure they can fucking go. I'm sorry, Cedric. He can't go no more, man. I'm sorry. He can't go anymore, and he's out. Look at the guy. He let himself go. This is the fattest I've ever seen Cedric Alexander. It looks bad on TV. He just looks like some old fat fuck that's having competitive work rate matches with Leon Slater. No one's buying that shit. We'll end this is really bad. The fact that this guy is probably, he's going to retire within a year or two, but in that retirement road from TNA, we're going to see this dumpy fucker shoved down our throats with his cotton ball mouth promos, with his just tub of lard body, with his stupid mohawk. This is what we have to, like, Eddie Edwards has done nothing to benefit pro wrestling. The last beneficial thing he did at pro wrestling was be a part of a tag team called the Wolves. And that was like 15 years ago. Right? Well, and the funny thing is, like, you go back and you watch those promos that he had in the Wolves, he was more coherent. He was better on the mic then. It's like he's degraded in like every way, physically, just promo-wise, he's degraded. Like, just in every way as a wrestler, he's degraded. He's just not, he just doesn't care. He doesn't care about being marketable. He doesn't care about, you know, looking like a star or upping his game because he's in TNA and he's happy with that. Well, that's not good enough, man. I'm sorry. Well, that's a common focus we're seeing throughout all these companies, is that physical fitness does not matter. You could be fat as shit and be in the main event. Look at Sami Zayn. Look at fucking Eddie Edwards. Look at Cedric Alexander. It doesn't matter anymore. It's like, and that's really sad that these promoters aren't, I don't expect them to fat shame them, but at least I would expect them to be like, hey man, you know, I can get you a gym pass, $10 a month. I can hook you up, you know, just, it's not that expensive to go to fucking Planet Fitness. You know, they're everywhere around the United States. I don't get it, man. But like, yeah, I would think that would be a nice gift for Christmas, is to give your fat out of shape wrestlers gym passes. Fuck it. It'd be funny if you get somebody like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck? Are you saying I'm fat? Yeah, we're saying you're fat, Eddie Edwards, yeah. I'd be like, dude, I could have given you a year of Golden Corral and made you even fatter and you would have been diabetic and had to cut off your foot. Or I could give you a year of a gym pass and you get the best shape of your life. The choice is yours. The choice is yours. What you gonna pick? I mean, now if I were you, I would pick the gym pass because, you know, you get to, you know, work on yourself, you look better, you feel better. But now apparently he's happy being a lard ass with no charisma in TNA. Congratulations, Eddie Edwards. Way to shoot for the stars there, pal. Yeah, this is what we got left of the TNA main event. It's very, very sad. It's a lot like NXT where there's just barely anybody left. That's pretty much how it's become. What it seems to me is that they've just conceded. Like, you know what? The only people that are going to watch this are the match marks. So let's just put on a bunch of matches. Like, what do we need? They don't care about matches. They'll whine about saying we want storylines on social media, but in reality, they want to see matches. They want to see the same matches that they've seen 1,000 times before. That's it. And so that's why Hunter Johnson's booking what he's booking. That's why Shawn Michaels is booking what he's booking. Quite frankly, it's why Triple H is booking what he's booking on the main roster. Tony Khan, it's why he's booking what he's booking. They've all conceded that real wrestling fans want to see nothing but matches. Okay, well then don't be surprised when the ratings fucking die. But at some point, you've got to make the decision to market your show to a larger audience. Oh, absolutely. What doesn't help too that they keep on pushing these nostalgia acts. So they got Eric Young, who won